Hey guys, how's it going? It's Alexander Williamson here with the Secret History Living in Your Aquarium. How are we doing today? I am doing better than yesterday, that's for sure. Yesterday I was feeling a little run down, but the internet was feeling even more run down and decided to crash on me. As I was telling y'all, the MacBook I have that I usually route everything through, it is no longer with us. I'm just doing that. I don't know what this is. But yeah, so say a little prayer for the MacBook. I'm going to take it to a place and see if maybe they can open it up and electrically, like sonically clean it. That's a thing they can do sometimes. Wow, I love your name, Psychedelic Hippocampus. That's a fun one. So, can you guys hear me all right? I take it you can because you're talking about MacBooks. Yesterday I did a live stream and I had to cut it short in that it cut me off and it wouldn't even let me get online. The internet was slow yesterday because Seattle's been having riots, and yesterday in my neighborhood there were about 10,000 people all live streaming and filming things on their phone. I mean, it was pretty nuts. I think my hair is kind of crazy today. Try not to let it be distracting. Yeah, so all that is going on, and I just want to say let's thank the creator, whoever that is for you, for nature and love and for fascination and learning. Every day we can get up, we can learn something new, we can escape into the world of our little aquariums, and that's to me that's a real blessing. So today I was going to my hope is to show you what else I've got going. You guys saw the tanks upstairs and we chatted a little bit. If you tune into this and you're like, oh, I hate those videos where he just talks like we're hanging out and we're friends, you're going to hate this, because I'm just going to answer your guys' questions if they relate to your aquariums, your fish, your plants, whatever that may be. And then we're just going to chat and also look at some of the stuff I have going on, because I have a bunch of new baby fish and I've changed some stuff around. I've got some new plants that are kind of funky, including two that we don't know for sure the scientific name of, like no one does. And so we'll look at all of that. We'll look at some fry and some spawning pairs of cichlids with babies. And it should be a jolly good time for all. But yeah, so I'm kind of trying to figure out how to proceed for now without the MacBook. I need to save up to do that. I've been, well, we'll go over it too, but I've been turning more of my tank space into plant tank space as well as fish grow out. So right now I'm really trying to optimize every inch of my aquariums to at least, the bottom needs to have a catfish or a pleco or some sort of spawning going on. The middle water needs to have some sort of spawning going on, and the top water needs to have some sort of spawning going on. So minimum 3 species per tank that are able to spawn, or at least I can pull out of there and grow them out in the tank they live in communally. And then also, ideally, it will have plants too. So that's kind of what's going on in here, just because I'm really trying to earn that money to either fix or to get a new computer. My MacBook's a 2015 MacBook Pro, and it had like my Photoshop, my InDesign, Final Cut Pro, all the video editing stuff, a ton of footage from Florida and from all over the place that I've been. And so, I mean, I do have it backed up, but I just don't have any place to edit it other than my phone right now. So we'll see. Yeah. Let me take a look at who's in here and we'll say hello. And yeah. So Chan Law Monkey. Yeah. You wonder if YouTube is on crack again. Yeah, probably. I mean, in Seattle, though, there's extraordinary circumstances in that, like, while we streamed yesterday, about half of the stream was going on while the mayor was speaking, and the city went ballistic. I mean, literally, like, bean bags and some other forms of ballistic gear was used. Stun grenades and all sorts of stuff. And then a guy drove through a crowd of protesters and got out with a gun, shot another guy. This brave gentleman reached into the car so this car sped through a crowd. This is while we were streaming, all this started, and so everyone got on their phones and everybody was calling, and like I said, there were 10 to 15,000 people in my neighborhood protesting, and well, several neighborhoods actually, but where I happened to be, and it really did jam up the cell service, and that's how I was streaming, because I wasn't relaying it through the laptop. So hopefully today's better. And also, I know it's not fish related, I won't speak about it too long, but I do want to send out my thoughts to that young man who was shot and to the people out there. I'm very pro freedom of speech. I'm pro Second Amendment. I'm pro most of the amendments, you know. For me, it's just if you love doing it, you like doing it, you have a right to do it according to our outlined Constitution, which can be changed. But as long as people agree, and that's the social contract that we've decided on, it's sad when people feel let down on one half of that equation, both for the police and for protesters. So, I mean, the police are in a really hard spot, and they're getting stuff thrown at them. And then there's innocent protesters, and then there's crazy anarchists and just criminals taking advantage of things too. And so the only way, this is what I want to say about the topic, is the only way it's going to get better is by putting positivity into it and by looking at one another as humans and just another person. So if you punch someone because you're upset with them, what do you think is going to happen afterwards? Are they going to hit you back or yell at you or cuss at you? Probably. They're going to do something like that. Or they might run, fight or flight. So they either run and avoid the situation, or they get angry, they escalate it, and return to it. So we're not going to proceed forward by hurting one another, or, the cops tear gas people, the people get mad, they throw stuff, then the cops charge in with batons, then the people throw rocks and bricks, and then, it just gets bigger and bigger. And we've had tear gas floating through my neighborhood, and, well, several Seattle neighborhoods for the last, 10 days, I guess now. And then it came to a head yesterday, and thank God not more people were hurt, but somebody sped through the crowd of people, and somebody dragged a piece of metal in front of the car to stop it from hitting about, I don't know, maybe 700 or 800 people it could have hit in this dense crowd, sandwiched between this barricade. And the guy who ran up to the car, reached through the window. I think he punched the window out, and then he reached through the window and tried to grab the driver out of the car. He got shot. And so after that, boom, that was it for the internet. I couldn't get back on. But in any case, I'm moving on now. Let's get back to fish. So, Nathan, hello. Psychedelic, hello. Gabriel, hello. WTF, hello. Halen, Van Halen, like Van Halen? Is it Halen or Halen? Howlin' Bowler. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, the world's gone crazy. Why shouldn't my hair? So, let's see here. Fish Tropic, what's going on? How's it shaking? Let's see here. I hope the Scarlet Baddis and some Endler... I hope we see the Scarlet Baddis and some Endlers, and I'm glad you're staying safe. These crazy times, Jesus, people are getting shot. Yeah, they are. It's going to be worse. I know, like, some of you have been watching my channel, and I was mentioning COVID back in January. Well, their video's demonetized now, damn it. But also mentioned that this was going to blow up the night that it happened, that I heard about it on Memorial Day. What's going to happen next, I think, is that someone else is going to bring a gun to an event and either kill cops or kill a bunch of protesters. And it's really going to kick off even worse situation. And then either America has to mature and stop this cycle because we've done it. I mean, this is the secret history living in your aquarium. And historically, we have seen this before in the United States. We have seen this in the 1860s with the Civil War. We have seen this in the 1880s with gangs of New York and with the Irish and the Scottish and with the Italians coming into America being hated, and also the African Americans coming north after slavery. We have seen this at the turn of the century again in the Tulsa riots, which were the worst in American history. Bombed the African American part of town, burned down over 2,000 buildings, lynched several people, and somewhere between 300 and 1,000 people were killed. African Americans, that is. And I think maybe like 20 white folks. But in any case, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go into it all. But the point being, and then we had civil rights in the 50s and 60s, early 70s, and then we had the LA riots with Rodney King. Like, come on, guys, we've done this before. Can't we all just agree that, you know, the police, they're trying their best. There's a few bad apples or a few people that just aren't trained well. And then same with protesters and looters. There's a few idiots who are criminals or who are taking advantage of a situation and mob mentality, who knows what. And then there's the rest of the people who are getting grouped together. And there's so much venom going back and forth. I know I have right-wing, left-wing, liberal, anarchist, conservative, maybe communist, and there's a few Chinese viewers, hello, ni hao. But, you know, no matter what, we need to see each other as people and agree to disagree on certain things and agree to a certain level that we think that we should all be entitled to in humanity. So, all right, I had to get that off my chest because it literally interrupted the feed last night, and it's consumed my city, and everybody on the news is talking about, oh, they want to defund the police, and like, oh no, there's 300 guys with assault rifles and American flags and Confederate flags, which is weird because we're as far north and west in the contiguous United States as you can get in America, but whatever. They're there supposedly stopping looters, and it seemed to have worked, but nobody was ever going to loot that part of town. There was never a threat. And that's their right if they want to do that peacefully. But last night we saw it get violent with a gunman who didn't agree with the protests. And so I'm just worried about the city, and I'm worried about America, and I'm worried about the world. So let's think positive. Let's try to get along as a community here. And I know a lot of times people will insert, like, I could be talking about frickin' guppies and it'll turn into something political. Just trust me on this in the comments. So I don't want to see that if it's destructive. If you guys have a productive conversation, fine. But let's just send out positivity, and please, let's assume that everyone else is working in good faith. We don't trust each other in America anymore, I feel like. And I feel like we also assume that everyone's trying to game the system. That everybody, like, oh, if we make education free, I didn't get free education, why should they get it? Like, you know, this kind of like obsession with fairness rather than lifting our culture up as a whole. And whatever that means, whether that means that everyone has to do it on their own and pull themselves up by their bootstraps in a capitalist society, that's one opinion. Or whether you say that they need a hand up, not a hand out, but we need more social systems. Or you say, give them money for nothing. I don't care, but let's start thinking about each other, okay, guys? It's a big message on this channel, even though it's a fish channel and a history channel. But let's start thinking about each other. I mean, my goddamn Tetras get along better than Americans do right now. So I'm sick of it. All right, guys, let's get to the fish. Let's turn it around. I think I'm looking at myself, and I'm not a fish. So let's switch this up. Van Halen. All right, that's how we pronounce it. Adam Schrontz. Hello. Neocaridina release eggs in mass. Have I ever seen that? No. Usually they hatch and they just kind of slowly come out. Medi VP. Hello. So Christy Hayes. Hello. Oh yeah, my Epistos. I can show you an update on them too. Marcus Winston, yeah, I'm talking about fish. Gabrielle, you are in Tulsa, so you know that. And okay, Andrew Logan, hello. Sorry guys, I know I ranted, my bad. Cherry shrimp colony shrinking, fish tropic. Sorry guys, I'm just making sure I'm not missing any questions because that's what I'm here to do today is answer questions and then show you guys around. Josh B, what's up? Igor Anonymous. Oh yeah, politicians not acting with the best intentions. Who would have thought? Let's see. All right. Let's see. Novice Aquarius. Sitting in my garden. Nice night. Out here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm following an idea you proposed. I have a free 30-gallon drum I'm turning into breeding ponds for cribs. Oh, that's really cool. I've never done cribs outside, but I bet they could deal with it when it's warm enough, definitely. And you guys get warm summers out there, very humid and stuff. It's not much different than parts of Central Africa, especially the mountainous areas of Central Africa, where a lot of the cribs live. That's very cool. Let me know how that goes. I would love to hear about it. They do, if you have a 30-gallon container, they do like surface area to hide and to have like territory square foot wise rather than just water column volume wise. So that would be my only critique or like suggestion would be to make sure that they have room to kind of scuttle around and make themselves at home. All right. Let's see here. Let's see here. My shrimp don't seem to act blue velvet. They are constantly hide, and all my parameters are perfect. Why do you think they are not active? I don't overfeed either. I have a lot of biofilm. I think that the main thing that causes shrimp to be active is if you get really clean water. So let me just show you what my Blue Dream shrimp are doing right now. I haven't done a water change in a while, and they don't do that much either. When I change the water, and then at night too. So another part of this could just be observe them at different times, right? Because sometimes your tank will just have, hey, we got new mama, if we can get it to focus. She is ready to have those babies like now. I didn't know she was in here. Like I didn't know those eggs are usually yellow on these Neocaridinas. She has very bad color. She is a blotchy one, like bad grade. Oh, she's one of the ones I was working on making her into a really O'Reilly. That's why she's still with us. I don't know. We'll have to see how her babies turn out, but I'll be grabbing her babies before they mature. Most definitely, when they're like the size of that one on the rock, I'll grab them because they may not be what I want. So you may notice here my Synodontis catfish actually had some babies. The Synodontis mustard catfish. They laid eggs a while back, and I told you guys about it, and I just tossed them in here, the eggs, because they happened in the big aquarium upstairs, and I figured that they'd all get eaten and probably mold or whatever. So I put them in some methylene blue along with some other eggs. And they look a lot like cories right now while they're little, except for they have the same facial band markings as the mustard catfish, which are nocturnal, but these babies hang out in the day all day long. So right now I know of at least three, if not four. I think it's three, but you can see they got big whiskers. Like on their face, their whiskers hang out way bigger than Corridora whiskers would normally. So that'll be fun to watch them grow out. They get bigger than a Cory, definitely. And then there could be some Corys hatching in here soon, too. But yeah, right now we're dealing with the mustard catfish, the Synodontis. They're not the leopard-spotted Synodontis. They're just the... Okay, so we do have four, at least four. But you can see the size of... Can you guys make out the size of those whiskers on the front there? And then they kind of have a much longer body than a Cory fry would. But in any case, so if your shrimp aren't active, definitely a big water change will help. Definitely not feeding them for a couple days, like, I mean, up to a week with Neocaridina, as long as you have good biofilm and algae, you know, like as long as the tank looks dirty, like, and some green on it like that, they are not going to go hungry. I've had tanks where I didn't feed them any food for months. And they'll live as long as the planted tank with substrates that are active. They will survive and do just fine usually, as long as they get enough light to photosynthesize the algae and so forth. But the real trick to getting them to be active usually is when they're spawning. So when they are creating hormones, that's what causes the males to swim all over and get really active and do like little flips and loops, is the hormones in the water and pheromones. And so right now you could see that that female was pregnant. And so I'm guessing if you check around and look, none of your shrimp will be pregnant. And so another thing that I find helps is turning the light off and putting like a towel or something over the tank, or if you can close the door in the room, like pitch black at night, and then in the day when it is daytime, actually giving them strong light and stuff. And not that shrimp need light, they can actually function and eat without light and just navigate by feel, but it gives them that, like, it's daytime, and then when it's nighttime, usually they'll swim all over and all around and act kind of crazy and fun to watch. So yeah, and then, so this is the one that I don't know what it is. This fish right here. You can see it's eating little white bugs of some sort and burrowing in substrate. It's eating maybe planaria. I don't know. It kind of looks like a Cory, but it's got these weird lines, and then it kind of looks like maybe Aeneas Cory, but I don't have any Aeneas Cories, so I don't know. We'll find out. We'll take bets. Should we start another pot on what that fry is? All right. So that's my advice with the shrimp, is to cut back on the feeding a whole bunch, give them some blackout time, and then bring it back in. Or you could separate the males and females as best you can, and then reintroduce them, and that will really help. So now this tank, I hope you guys can just start, like, just watch and see how many species you can count in this 5-gallon tank. It's a problem. I'll need to move things around soon. Yeah, a lot of eggs hatched. So these shrimp, though, not super active either. They're not really like swimming all over the place. Some of the babies move around more, but yeah. So let's see here. Yeah, I can show you the rice fish too. I've got lots of rice fish in here. So I had raccoons finally get into the rice fish pond outside, and they mangled 6 red caps out of the 8 out there in one night, after not being able to catch a single one for like, whatever, a month and a half. Now in here, in this little 5-gallon, we've got at least 16 of the rice fish, the red cap rice fish, and a few Malaysians. You can see them here, little rice fish. They're big enough that they're eating flake food already. These ones are, and then there's a few that are newer. Right here. They're real teeny, but you can tell them apart from the blue eyes. compared to the gouramis, which still have just little black eyes, and they're really teeny still. And the little gouramis I got out of a nest from upstairs, the powder blue gouramis, powder blue dwarf gouramis, that were in a little bubble nest at the top of the water. Like there were eggs, like kind of in a little line like that. So, all right, let's see here. Can shrimp get too much calcium? Yes, so definitely. Let me get through these questions too, and we'll just keep looking. You guys can spot like the new plecos that are in here. These are longfin, bristlenose lemon plecos. They're not the albinos, which is nice. I'm excited that the lemons finally crossed with the longfins. So that's a hybrid. But yeah, so if you have too much calcium or too much KH, or even too much GH, general hardness, versus the calcium and carbonate hardness, the problem that you can run into is that their shells will be too rigid. And then when they try to get out of their shell and they try to go to the next size up, let's see if we can see it happening anywhere. So here you can see the calcium deposits actually on the tail. You can see that old shell. He'll be coming out, or she'll be coming out of that shell soon and getting a new, bigger shell. You'll see that a lot of times on shrimp that are about to molt. This one probably just molted and cured, and so it's very shiny, red, and consistent. Whereas you'll see their tail has like a clear, like extra bit, even more than that piece there. And that can kind of tell you, like a fingernail, how far outgrown they are of their exoskeleton and when they're going to molt. And when they molt, obviously you can leave it in the water because they're going to eat it. They're going to eat it and reabsorb the nutrients. But they definitely can get too much, and they always break out. If you've seen my video Shed or Dead about shrimp shedding, they always break out of their little exoskeleton in the shoulder. So if we find an empty shrimp case around here, I'll show you, but they always break out through the shoulder, and so you always see that same break mark right at the shoulder where the tail kind of starts and where the head ends. And if that's too strong, they'll get a split there, and then that split oftentimes is called like the ring of death, and you'll see through the shell, you'll see the white undershell growing, and it means that they're gonna get squished from the inside out by not being able to get out fully of that band on their shell. All right, so this is a sponge filter. I did have a different sponge filter in here, but when I switched all the fish in here with the shrimp, I decided to switch it up a little bit. Everything's very tiny in here, and this is very labor intensive. I like, because I'm home all the time right now. You know, you guys know I do graphic design and art and stuff. I can't do that without the computer right now, so I'm just really stuck doing like freehand art and working on this and selling plants and fish and stuff. So right now I do have time, and I can check on tanks 2 or 3 times a day and keep an eye very closely on them. So I can have angelfish, just as a test. There's like 10 angelfish fry in here. There's gourami fry. There's about 20 of them in here. There are 15 Medaka rice fish with the red caps. Then there are about 11 salt and pepper Corydoras. And then there are another 15 to 20 of my Corydora venezuelas that are very young in here, scooting around. You'll see them at some point. And then my wife decided that she is in love with snails. So since there's also the baby plecos in here, which actually I just found last night, these plecos here, they hatched upstairs, and they have already gone through the process of, they've gotten rid of their yolk sac. Let's see if we can see that. And you can see they're real skinny. Their bellies are not full. So mom trapped them in the round terracotta hut rather than a cave style hut. And I'm really surprised that they even spawned in there, and either a lot of them died or I don't know what exactly happened, but this was the result. These really long-tailed, half lemon, half albino longfin cirrhosis, or uh, uh, I guess the mainstream. Oh, by the way, here are the angelfish babies clustered up here. They look like little bulldogs if we can get a zoom in on them. Kind of like look like little floating skulls with a spine. I don't know. They're kind of creepy at this size. Whereas the little gourami babies on the other end are just little. They've got little black eyes and they look like normal fish with like a silver body. There's one. Where'd it go? In any case, well, I wanted to find you guys the other Cories, the Venezuelas Corridoras. They're still very, very teeny. So what I'm doing to keep everybody alive in here, I'm feeding a lot each day, and I'm going to be doing a water change every other day. But what's going on is we're doing microworms in the morning. That's what a lot of this junk is. We're doing vinegar eels in the afternoon or every other day, depending on how much junk there is in here. And then we're doing Aquarium Co-op's fry food, and also a little bit of green water from outside from where my Daphnia live. See, you can see just how skinny and emaciated some of these baby fry are. So I really hope they make it, but mom did not feed them, and they're too skinny for not having a yolk sac. They really need to fatten up. But while I was doing all this, my wife saw the baby ram's horn snails, that there were a few, and she's like, I want a bunch. And I have puffers, so I figured, why not? If I have all this extra food getting put into this tank, we can have a little fun, and she can get some extra snails out of it. But let's see here. We'll try to move things around so you guys can see some of the Cories, maybe. Seeing lots of shrimp. There are a lot of shrimp in here that are young, and they're not growing very fast. Here's another albino. Okay, so there's a Cory right there. A lot of Cories, when they're fry, they have two lines. So they have a line from their eye to their nose, and then spots. And then they have kind of a brassy little, it looks like a chameleon eye. It's like a periscope eye. And that kind of, there you go. You see that brassy eye? That's how you can tell, like, the Synodontis looked very different than that. Their eye is not like a brassy little chameleon eye. But both the pepper Corridoras, which are the ones right here, you can see they've got, like, pepper marks and, like, almost like rosettes, like a leopard. And then they have a long stabilizing fin that's large when they're a fry, whereas the Venezuelas ones have very pronounced marking on the face, and then they're kind of an orange color that's not showing up here. It's very faint. But yeah, so that's what's going on here. And this tank, I know there's algae in it, and that's exactly the way I want it, with these fish and shrimp grazing all day. So, super stoked about that. Alright, let's see here. Niels, hello. How's it going? Let's see here. Does anybody know what's going on with Flip Aquatics? Long time since I've seen anything on YouTube. Yeah, what's going on is they don't really spawn their own shrimp anymore. There's still the code if you do want to buy something that they have, which is, what is it? History 10, I think? Secret History 10? I don't know. There's links in some of my videos. And when I do unboxings, if you search for my unboxings by them, there's a 10% discount that he gave me, that Rob gave me. But he used to breed all his fish in the States, in his house, And now he does not. I know, guys, the tanks are dirty. I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. I'm a slacker. I had to get my water changes ready. So check this out. The Somfongzi Rasboras are finally mature, and you can really tell the females from males. So the females have a kind of green and gold look to them. The males have orange on their tail and brass, like an orangey, brassy, bronzy color. So yeah. Let's see. Adam says, I watched a blue dream shake a clutch of eggs off in a mass of guppy grass. I pulled the clutch and put it into an empty planted tank. Are they doomed eggs? That's odd. Usually, Neocaridina don't lay eggs like that in a clutch. They hold on to their eggs under their belly. Also, we have new fry hatched today from my endlers. I mentioned that I wanted to get my this guy back, this line back of my endlers live bear leopard. So that's what's growing out in here, as well as some bettas and some little pea puffers, and also the ruby tetras and the Somfongzi rasboras. But you can see the bettas, there's some really interesting natural color ones. They still are fighting a little bit and nipping each other's fins, but they've kind of chilled out because I've split them up a lot. This mass of Subwassertang definitely is chilling them out. Also, that's the mom Endler that had the babies last night. She might still have a baby coming right now. She gives birth to very full fry. So and so does this one. They're both two of my older female breeders, and they're just in there with the one guy. I don't like his tail. I do like the spade tail. If you go look at my other stuff, this stock is originally from Lucas Brett's, but then I monkeyed with the genetics for the last 3 or 4 years, I guess now, to have more white and blue instead of silver colors. And then when you turn the light off, if it's dark and you shine a flashlight on them, their metallic silver colors look purple. So there's this cool iridescent effect on them too, that when natural sunlight hits them, they also do. And that's an Endler trait rather than a guppy trait. And so that's why I try really hard to keep that line away from guppies. Up here, we've got the Scarlet Batis that are new. I want to be spawning the Myanmar Batis, and I have 2 successfully spawned, which is not great. And also I spawned the Erythromicron down in the blue shrimp tank the other night, 2 nights ago. But in here, let me get something to prod all the critters with. Let's bug them for your entertainment. Okay, so we've got a little female Scarlet Batis, true female there. And then we've got some imposter females. Actually, I need to clean their little area. See this poo? This is one night of poo. So I cleaned this little fry keeper, even though it shares water with everyone else. It collects a lot of poo. But here are some of the bettas in here. They're getting, I mean, they're full size now, pretty much. And these are kind of a wild. Oh, and she definitely is egg bound. That's a bummer for her. I will have to get her a salt bath and maybe feed her the insides of green peas. Also, my platinum Medaka rice fish, some of them are up here and some of them were in the tank below this, if you noticed. But yeah, so we've got a variety. Here's more of my, look at this beauty. She looks like a little doll. She's got a blue sapphire eye and just beautiful iridescent blue finnage. I mean, if you guys can see it in the live stream, imagine how good the color is in real life, because the live color is washed out and sucks. Like, this fish is electric purple. And both of these were females, believe it or not. Actually, all but one in this tank were females. So check this one out. This one's like a very natural blue color, like a subdued blue with blue eyes and then like red front fins. You guys see that? But all these had stripes when they were little, and so I split them up and put them up here when they were little, thinking that I could have kind of a sorority, except for this one. This is the male, I believe. He never had stripes. And also, but he does have that big old belly that could be eggs, so I don't know for sure. But blue, those eyes are not black. They're actually blue if you look in the right light. So, yeah. Let's see here. Let me get to where you guys are. If I missed your question, I'm sorry. You can ask it again now, and hopefully I can get to it. I just fell off my ladder. I just fell off my podium. So here's another one of the gals up here, similar to that other blue and yeah, see, they're right next to each other, the purple and blue ones. And then we've got this the stripe one. I just think she's stunning. She's silver and blue. And then this dude is, well, maybe it's not a dude. You know what? I'm questioning the dudeness of it as we speak. I haven't really come up here on the ladder and inspected super closely in a while. But I could just be overfeeding all these bettas because they all have the big pot belly. There's a few more back there, but they're not fighting, so at least most of them are females. So then right here, let's move them into the light. Is light. So we've got two male scarlet batis. We only got 6 out of this last 2 spawns altogether. This one is most likely a sneaker male. I don't see any blue in the pectoral fins, but I think it's going to be a sneaker male, just because usually you don't even see that defined striping. You see more like this one here. And you can see the eggs. You see the yellow eggs in her belly? Those are her eggs. That was self-evident. We hold these eggs to be self-evident. And I've been feeding them mostly white worms and also mosquito larvae. So that's their deal. This one has kind of a copper eye. I like that one. There's the other silver and blue one again. Looking fly. And then, so yeah, there's six batis in here, and I think we've got 2 female, 4 male, or maybe 3 and 3. We'll find out. We'll find out at some point. I'll just have to get rid of the 2 males and then see who colors up. But the alpha male is definitely that one that was just in the corner that just flicked. You can also tell by the shape of their dorsal fin. So if it goes up like that, curves up, and it's pointy, then they're usually male. Whereas the females tend to just have it end like a little mohawk. See her? She's definitely a female. But as you know, if you are a loyal watcher of the channel, we read a paper about how they can change their chromosomes. So all that is a bunch of hooey, because now all that stuff I just told you about gendering doesn't really matter. If they do that, then you won't be able to know. So I'm working on this silver. I've adapted it. So there was the Dumbo ear guppy / Endler hybrid. They were calling koi guppies with the black body and the Dumbo ears, but I kind of wanted to cross it with a white one, because right now they're silver. There's a lot of silver and a lot of navy blue. So now there's some like green and weird other colors. But I will, I think, out of the next batch of fry, select some of the lighter color ones that look nice and try to use those as, like that's a nice female there. But I'll try to use those as some choices, like maybe this one here. Well, I don't know, still got a lot of orange on it there. But to get some white going, and I'll probably cross it one more time with a white, some sort of white endler. Did you see that betta go nuts? I don't know what they're hunting. It probably baby guppies, or the little fleas at the top of the water. But that's the last betta that you guys hadn't met yet, right there. So, all right. And then down here, we've got this betta, and we've got, where's the other ones? There's 2 or 3 other bettas in here. But then we've got the Malaysian blue daisy rice fish, a couple of the platinum rice fish. Yes, they can hybridize, but no, because of the bettas here, the bettas eat the eggs. And that's probably what that betta is hunting for right now, is either eggs or shrimp. Because there's also a bunch of shrimp in here, and believe it or not, even with bettas in here growing out, the shrimp have survived pretty well. Also, the erythromicrons, they're living in here right now, and they aren't hiding. They're out ootin' a boot, scooting a boot. Where'd they go? Oh, they're back there. But they are swimming around, having fun. And then the fire and ice guppies, which I did not have. Oh, here's another white, what do you call it? Betta. Without the color on the fins, though, and also gray eyes, not blue. So less epically cool, but still interesting. And then, yeah, the fire and ice guppies, I don't know. I'm not that impressed. Unless these are all females, but I think they're males. I'm just not that blown away yet by them, but maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe they get cooler. I don't know. Yeah, the platinum rice fish are doing great. Edison Lee, or Lay, how's it going? Nathan Hudo, trying to start a blackwater tank. I was thinking about Epistos, sparkling Gouramis, Rasboras, and maybe Corridoras. Do all of those sound compatible? Also, would Caridina shrimp work with enough cover? No, the shrimp won't work in the black water probably. It's probably a little too acidic. Caridina, also, you're going to have some issues there. Just in their fragility and like with all the tannins in the water. You're probably, unless you're getting the acidity through like Brightwell aqua soil alone and not using a bunch of like Mopani driftwood or something, Nathan, you may lose your, I don't know, Caridina are just hard. Neo-Caridina or maybe some ghost shrimp, like some of the South American ghost shrimp, or some of the bamboo shrimp, those big bamboo shrimp or fan shrimp that do the water polishing that are big, those may work. They live more in rice paddies and stuff, but the Caridina shrimp, they really live in clean, cooler mountain water. And the other fish you're talking about, the Episto, can tolerate a wider range from neutral down. Rasboras can tolerate from neutral down, but they like warmer water. And then the sparkling Gouramis also, they can take pretty acidic water, but they can also take harder water. So they're really flexible, but and they can take a wider degree of temperatures. But sparkling Gouramis, in my experience, have hunted my shrimp mercilessly when I've put them in there, especially once they're full grown. All of the last fish in here are the Axelrod Sundaddy Day Rasbora. They're just chilling. They're like totally translucent in this tank. I don't know why. The light is a very blue light that's over them. And I think I need to treat them for some sort of parasite, possibly, just because they're not really getting fat and putting on weight. They look fine, but no one's like scary skinny or anything. But I just usually expect Rasboras, especially the females, to get that kind of standard pot belly. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The white bettas are females. Okay, good to know. And then down here, we'll see if any other bettas came out. I can probably coax a couple others out too. Some of the shrimp I bought last week have what looks like the ring of death. What can you do? You can't do too much. people say that they're going to die for sure. That's not true. They don't always die, but if they don't do okay during the next shed, I mean, if they do okay during the next shed, they will survive. But if they will likely die. That is true. It is more likely that they will die. Adding fresh water can help sometimes, and increasing the acidity ever so slightly, like literally throwing some Indian almond leaves in might help. Can help soften up that shell, break down that calcium bond a little bit. But you don't want to put too much in or it can shock them. Bipolar Aquatics, what's going on? Sunny doing. Floodlight, are LED floodlights good lights? Yeah, they are. I like them. So here we have kind of a lavender-eyed one, but scary when you look at it front on. And then, what? Oh, you want to come say hi? Hello. Hello there. For some reason, I now have a red ramshorn snail. Just one, and hordes of brown snails. How cool is that? Kathy, nice. Nice. That's how it happens. You just get one mutates, and then you say, hey, you, get off my cloud. No, you say, get on to my other ramshorn snails, or you put it alone, and it does its thing, Jurassic Park style, and just all of a sudden you've got all these ramshorn snails. And soon you won't know what to do with them, especially if you feed them, oh, by the way, in here, the secret beast that lurks, the Siamese algae eater is in here. And it is not the one that I recommend. It is the one that I took in because I'm a sour, or what, I feel bad for fish and I take them in. That's not a sour sack, but I'm a softie. That's the word I was thinking of, a softie. Also, something weird about this tank is all the water lettuce melts. All the water lettuce melts in this tank, but the Sawasser tank goes nuts. Nuts. And we've got more white bettas. So I kind of got a lot of white bettas. And then we've got this one. There is another betta hiding in here too. Oh, there's some little ones still. There's some runts that just never grew. I don't know why, the rhyme or reason to that in nature. Probably to spread out the chances of survival. Like some stay smaller and then some don't. Oh, there goes the Pea Puffers. Pea Puffers are racing across. And then, again, the beast that lurks in the darkness. If we can see there we go. So, hello, 6-inch long fish that doesn't belong with any of the other fish. But this is not a flying fox. It's peaceful. It's not a Chinese algae eater. Don't worry. Those would be ripping up everything in the tank if that were the case. But I do like the reticulated ones. The reticulated ones don't have a pattern on their body. They just have a diamond at their tail. This is a true Siamese algae eater. And they don't eat much algae at this size. But a lot of people get them, and then they don't take care of them, and then they just leave them to die, or they throw them away. And that makes me sad, so I take them in sometimes. And then I'll find them a home with someone who's like hunting for bigger fish. So then the other tank that we haven't looked at for a while, we've got, drum roll, drums please. Summer, summer, summertime, summertime. Anybody? I don't know what the heck this is. It's going in the ick bucket. Not actual ick. I have a bucket where I put odds and ends. But so here you can see a female Malaysian or Myanmar, I should say. Right here we've got Myanmar. You can see how bright their color is. Sorry guys. Sorry about that. How bright their color is. Also sparkling gouramis, but we've got the red and black tiger badass. They're messy eaters. This tank, I need to gravel vac like there's no tomorrow, but they had laid eggs in here, so I have let it get a wee bit out of control. And then right here in this same tank, look at this. We've got a pygmy gulf female sunfish, and then the male pygmy sunfish is over here, and he has blue on him, and he hates being in this tank, I'm pretty sure. But the other ones are upstairs in a really cold tank, like a 60-degree tank. This tank's staying at about 72, sorry guys. And these sparkling gouramis are full size. Look at the color. That's a really good looking sparkling gourami right there, that male. And they're very bold. Usually they kind of hide a lot. These ones have gotten very bold, and just, I like them. I don't know. That blue eye is just so beautiful. They'll actually let me kind of like pet them. And there's a female right there with the duller colors. But the males have that fin that they stick up that's orange and more colorful stuff. So we're going to save the most exciting thing for last. But let's take a look over here. We've got the half-beak that's always right here to greet me. Usually he's choking on something. Yeah, you know what? The fire and ice guppies do look like female pingus. So I got a male and a female from Lucas Brett's. The male was dead, and the female I just left alone with no other live bearers, and it ended up having those babies. So I'm just kind of waiting. It's been 4 or 5 months, and that's all I've gotten out of her. So we'll see. In here, we've got the rarer Danios. Also, we've got some rummy nose Rasboras, not rummy nose Tetras, but rummy nose Rasboras, that have not really colored up very well. They came in completely devoid of color, and now they're finally coloring up. But I don't know what the deal was. I put them, this tank is more acidic now. And the other thing, if you guys know what's going on here, I would appreciate it, because I don't. This fern, Java fern, this is a Thor's hammer, and I love this stuff. It was expensive and it's hard to find. It's been dying, and that's not that unusual. But look at this. Look at it's got like a blight on it of some sort. It's not a nutrient deficiency. It's got iron and everything, but it's got these nodules on it where its spores should be. These are where the spores on a fern would be. So I don't know what the deal is there. We'll see. And then Salvinia is growing really well in this tank. Lots of it. Little mini cup Amazon Salvinia. The Sculpii Danios, the Kubota Rasboras, they're ready to spawn. And then we've got lots of the Tinwinnies, and then up here we've got a few of the Pseudomcgill Gertrude Aru2s, and then a few of the darkest of the Dumbo ear koi guppies, and then yet again another all white steely-eyed betta. And then we've got the Phoenix Rasboras, and then we've also got, I love Phoenix Rasboras, so much better than strawberry or chili Rasboras in my opinion. They light up different colors, and they've got patterns, and the different red and orange patterns, one lights up versus the other, and then you get different contrast. I put some food in here, a tablet that I broke up, and nobody's eating it, and Pandagar in here, who is my favorite Pandagar. He's super bright and colorful and hated all the other Pandagaras. So he has his own tank. But yeah, so then the Ascopi super endangered Danios and the Lake Inlay Danios are in here. They look very similar to zebra, not zebra Danios, but there's a leopard Danio and then panther Danio, but they're not. They've both got bars vertically, but then they both have spots too. And it's not a flame bar Danio either. Those are another common one, and it's not the Danio Chopra. So these two, the Lake Inlay and then the Esculpi Danio. The Sculpis are the bigger ones, but they're likely in going extinct in the wild. They haven't been found for a few years now outside of Bangkok. So also, let's see here what's going down. We've got the Autosynclus, the Panda Gara, doing their thing, and lots of shrimp, Malawa shrimp, doing their thing. This is the blue / clear tank of Malawas. Also, we've got a bunch of little starts of what do you call it, Anubias in here. So there are a few going on in here, but nothing too thrilling. There's a few barred border loaches in here also. And again, like I said, nothing too thrilling. Oh, new plant though. This is Nicea Kilgore. I've never seen it before. Is super. Whoa, Panda Loach wants to say hi. It's super loaded with leaves, and I'll show you another one. Hey, buddy. This guy likes being petted. I don't know why, but he does. And that's not great for their slime cone. Don't do as I do. Just do as I say. And I say don't do that. So these guys had babies, finally. This couple. It's not Sergio. It's Sergio's protege. But, yeah. The peacock gudgeons, they're in here. Just chilling. There's a big old female. Some of my green dragon plecos still in here. Few of the endlers still in here. Then the big old albino, sorry about the glare, albino balloon are in there. Balloon, why am I spacing? Barbs, tiger barbs. And then we've also got some cribs. Bloods and cribs. And then in here, we've got the little teeny angelfish. So these are the same ones that were in that other tank too. I wanted to let some stay with their parents and some go elsewhere. Pretty interesting. I got a little video I took of them storing the babies in their mouth and moving the babies around when they were still sticky. They could stick them to the walls, and that's always fun to watch. So I'll have a short little, I think it's like an 8-minute video that I was going to post about that if you're interested in seeing. At one point they had probably 200 to 300 babies, and now they're down to like 40 or 50 probably. I know it doesn't look like it, but they're kind of scattered. They're not the best parents, but they're learning. Every time with cichlids, every time they have babies, they get better at it. And with these this small, I'm giving them vinegar eels, but I'm also definitely leaving the water dirty. I'm not doing a whole lot of water changes, just water top-offs and watching the nitrates. But with the amount of plants in here, I don't have to worry about nitrates a ton usually. It's more just like TDS gets high, algae can get high, and I don't have to worry about that. About feeding the babies as much if I just let them be. Also, you'll notice with angelfish, just like discus, a lot of people don't know this, but the babies will come up and they'll actually graft onto the parents. And what they're doing is they're getting immunity, and they're also eating and getting a biofilm lunch, but they're getting their immune, like their gut bacteria and their external bacteria as well, from their parents, and that's passed down generation upon generation. And if you think about it, they've stayed alive with that I mean, they need it. They need some degree of it to stay alive. So that means that they have successfully, the parents have successfully passed on that trait indefinitely. And I mean, they do it to their eggs. They rub on their eggs. So that's the first attempt. But then later they do it again and again. And that helps. And that's why tank raised fish a lot of times can withstand very different parameters than others. Is, you know, they're culturing for the bacteria that may grow in this environment already. But I'm curious to see what this blue Turkish female and then the male who is supposedly, I don't know, supposedly part Leopoldi angel and then mostly Scalara, like a quarter and then 3/4 Scalara. But the red eyes, pretty cool. And then the blue fins and the gold and bronze head. I don't know. Who knows what will happen with those babies. Similar mix to Sergio and the other ones upstairs. But over here we've got, I know the glare is really bad, so I'll try to just press right up to the glass. Also, we've got more of the Asculpi and the Lake Inlay, and also the Maytangensis guppy, or Danios. I know that a lot of folks, you probably can't tell the difference. It's really, really subtle, but one has a gold line across the top of its back, and that's the only difference between it and the Lake Inlay, the Shanensis and the Lake Inlay. And the fire bar is different because it's more colorful, but I just have these because I had an opportunity to get them at the wet spot for like $6 a piece, and they were on the endangered species list, like critically endangered, and I was like, I need to get those and at least try to help them. But yeah, this tank is just getting filled with blackbeard algae. So I either need to get some young algae eaters, Siamese algae eaters. Look at that. That's just awful. Or hydrogen peroxide or whatever. I'm not that worried about it yet in that all these front plants are doing just fine in the substrate. It's the old moss and rocks. And there's been a colony of blackbeard algae growing in this tank for a year and a half anyways. Just, it's been at bay. It's been colonized well by other algae. So yeah, let's take a walk back up to the other tanks. I'll show you a couple more things. The other thing I wanted to show you, because I moved him, is my Honduran red point. Oh, and here's the true blue. My Honduran red point was eating every angelfish baby as fast as he could see them. So he has been moved up here, and he is such a good hider. Literally, he's behind this log, and when I put it down, he's gonna go down. Watch this. When I put it up, he'll go back up, and then there he is. All right, there he is. And I finally found him either a home or a female. And I think it's going to be a home because he doesn't need to be here. So here is the one I was talking about that I'm going to use as my whitest, yellow and white combo with the Dumbo ears for the white variety. You know, sometimes it's just a shot in the dark. You just got to try it and see what happens. But yeah, this little tank is going nuts. So many different species. This is probably another one of the mustard catfish, the one just there. Because you can make out that almost as long as their tail is, they have whiskers or barbels that are that far across. So, kind of different. I'll show you where they had the babies, which is super, super duper, ooper weird. They had the babies. In one of these. Like, what are they thinking? I don't know what they're thinking. See, there she is. And she still hasn't eaten. I left her like 4 or 5. And she won't eat. And she's starving to death. And I put food right in front of there and she won't frickin' eat. Making me sad, girl. Um, you can see there's some stragglers up here. I'm kind of just letting them nature do its thing. Although I do have, oh, well, whatever. I was going to say I do have the turkey baster so I can return them down to their mom. But they seem to just be swimming away again. They're at that age, that rebellious teenage year. Alex, what do you think of Biohome, and did you get a new computer? No. Oh, I don't have any near enough money to get a new computer right now. I still need to sell a few months worth of plants probably. And I don't know what Biohome is, if that's like a program or I'm sorry. I'm just not in the know. I'm a dum-dum. Focus, Alex. What do I feed ram's horns? Anything. They will eat fish food. They will eat spirulina. They love spirulina. They will eat algae wafers, other algae wafers. They'll eat other seaweed. They will eat dead fish and shrimp. They will eat shrimp pellets. Happily, they'll eat shrimp food. Anything a shrimp will eat. Snails will eat, ram's horns specifically will eat like anything. Jackson Tax, what is up? How is it going? In this case, squirrel is a Siamese algae eater. Is that tea back there? No, no tea anywhere. Oh yeah, you like the wild bettas. Gourami. Let's see, I've got some weird dialects sometimes. Yes, I did paint my nails very poorly. Well, actually I did a good job, but it's been like 2 weeks now. I mean, I don't go out. Seattle's still on lockdown, so except for the rioting. Funny how that works. But unless there's a mob of like 50,000 people in the streets, everyone's supposed to be inside still. So, you know, I go to the grocery store and that's it. And I work from home because I am a graphic designer / artist for a living. Also, the Pistos are in here still, and they're fine. They haven't had babies that I've seen, but the Nanochromis are living in here also, and they've finally co-opted that cave. And that took some doing. I kind of had to evict the plecos that were in there. Just kept bugging them. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm trying to read. Sorry, guys. I know I fell behind on the comments. Yeah, I know. What type of angel is Mama? She was a blue, Turkish blue. That's what she was called, from Aquatic Arts. Let's see here. Oh yeah, cucumber pleco, or cucumber to the pleco. Yeah, cucumber and zucchini she'll usually eat. Oh, here's another one of the Nanochromis. They're so shy. They're so pretty though. I mean, I got some really cool pictures when I calmly sit here. They can hear through the tank really well. They're very sensitive to sound. There's the Venezuela cories and the pepper cories, salt and pepper cories, that is. I do want to breed the jelly bean tetras next. And and then there's a reticulated algae eater that I just mentioned downstairs. They're much better than the other types. They really do eat a ton of blackbeard algae, or even diatom algae they'll like work on. And I don't know how they get it because they don't have like a good beak or anything to scrape with. Here's my male gourami, Mr. Daddy Powder I call him, and Mama Powder. Mama Powder's over here. She has no orange feelers on odontodes, but she chilling. And the shrimp, they're doing fine. They seem to have figured out that when the gouramis come up to them, they just do this little game and they climb up to the top side. So I see them outside the water frequently. Look at this one. It's like hanging on in this crazy flow. And the Madakas love this flow. The Tetras like the flow. The plants are growing absurdly long because of that flow back there. But yeah, I really do like the Madakas in this tank. The red cap rice fish. And then we've also got the Luminatus. They're getting bigger. So we've got a lot of fish in here. But, oh, there we go. See, there's the Nanochromis. Will she come out? The female has white on her. Yep, that's the female. The male does not. He was over here. Oh, he ran away again. I quit. Whatever. You guys go have fun doing whatever it is you do. Okay, so we cut out yesterday. Let me answer a couple more questions. My wife is doing a crazy diet where she has to like portion everything. So we've got a million bowls all over the place. But these plants we looked at last time, and I just wanted to show you them in better lighting. So got some nice immersed growth going here, especially with the Hydrocotyle verticillata. And then this is the Ludwigia variegated red star, and Nicea golden is in there, variegated. And then this, you know, I can't remember for sure which one this is. Can't remember off the top of my head. Having a blank. And then here we've got Ludwigia super red and Ludwigia crimson there. And then we've got Hygrophila coriambosa, Hygrophila blue, and then we've got also another Nicea that's not known yet that I got from somebody. But yeah, so we've got an interesting selection. Now, believe it or not, the shrimp and the fish, there are the Gulf pygmy sunfish are living in this thing with Neocaridina shrimp and Malua shrimp. The shrimp have been in here for 2 years, as I said last time. Now, it's almost 2 years, whenever I set up the bowl. And then the fish have been in here probably 6 months now. But I am starting to get some algae in here that I'll have to clean out. But my whole goal was to literally not feed this tank. And the fish are eating just all the little doodads that live in here, all the little critters, as well as baby shrimp that are born and get eaten quickly. So that sums up that project. I'm working on a puzzle with my wife. Oh, the lockdown blues. But we got married to a few songs with Jimmy. We're on our wedding playlist, so we're doing a puzzle of the album, The Axis Bold as Love. And last tank with Sergio, we had some drama. We have drama. We have big news, big drama. For those of you who love Sergio, like I love Sergio, you know, I feel like one of my Patreon tiers should be like, you get a portrait of Sergio, because I've had people ask, will you draw me Sergio and send it to me? I'm like, he's my fish. No. That didn't work. Here we go. All right. So Sergio just chilling, but he switched mates. So he went to this gal at first, and she's very young. She's very small. She doesn't lay very good eggs, and she eats the eggs. What a dream wife. All right. This one, ew, with poop coming out. I just gave them bloodworms earlier. And this one, they're all females. Look at her go. Her ovipositor might be open too, come to think of it. It looks, yeah, it is. And she's pooping. Gross. Okay, we're not going to look at her. But this pair was getting along smashing splendidly. And all of a sudden, they just turned on each other last night. And this other blue gal here, she went back to Sergio, and he took her back. And Sergio, I mean, he's a big boy. Like, if you see his fins, they're from my finger to from my palm to my finger. definitely. But yeah, it's kind of odd. I've never had a male spawn with so many females. 3 at once. He had 3 going at one point. It was nuts. And right now, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the deal is. But I'm trying to give him some food. This gal, what's she doing? You know, it's so hard to sex angelfish. I thought I had it down, and then this one turned out to be a female too. So I don't know. They've all had babies with Sergio. Sergio fertilizes all the babies, but then they the moms tend to eat them. Also, let's see here. Like I said, I got the little $1 each from Wet Spot. Neon Tetras. Or no, that's not right. Glow light Tetras. Like them. But so they're not fighting now, but the other day these two were just going back and forth, and then Sergio is beating him up. But last night, Jane, that's his original life partner, who I thought that was going to be it. That was the story. They mate for life, right? Well, no. So Jane got really like sweet again to him and was like loving up on him and was cleaning his coat and all sorts of stuff. So very, very weird behavior I've never witnessed before. But I don't know. We'll see. So we'll see what Jane's up to. She's the bluest of the gals. And this one, though, I like the markings. They're very simple. They're less blotchy and stuff. And then we've also got the cribs down in here and some Panda corridors. So that's the end of the tour. You guys got the grand tour of everything going on today. Now let me just double check that I didn't miss any burning questions or sizzling. Bettas like when we blow kisses to them. I agree. Oh, and as always, brought to you by Dr. Pepper Cream and Soda. Cream soda. Cream and soda. They're not paying me, but they should be. Oh, the last tank. You guys don't need to see it. More platinum Medacas. I'm just trying them without filtration in a bunch of different ways. So, yeah. Fake name, Otter Creek Aquatics, what's up? Alex, where would you suggest the best source for getting Maltese? I would definitely go to the Wet Spot. That's where I would go. The Wet Spot, Portland, they're one of the only places that spawns them in the U.S. reliably, other than a farm. There's a farm down in Florida that does, and one in Texas that does. Also, I think like all Oddball Aquatics, and there's a few other cichlid specialists that breed them, but they have, at the Wet Spot, they had 4 different species of Maltese, of shell dwellers. So I know that sometimes they do have that. Yes, the shrimp, just to get back to it, the shrimp, the shrimp are cool with that flow. Malawa shrimp are super hardy. They're just rough, tough, and tumble fish, or shrimp. Let's see here. Didn't know that the plants could come out of water. Oh yeah, lots of most aquatic plants are not truly aquatic. Lilies are one that's usually, like water lilies, are truly aquatic. Like tubers, most plants with tubers. And then also most plants like Aponegitans. So they're in a bulb or a tuber again. So the Nymphaea family, so Nymphaea micrantha, Nymphaea minutia, Nymphaea consantes, consortus, All those are, they have the fine, delicate leaves that come up with the long stem, and then the pad, I guess, lily pad. Those need to be in water. They won't grow on land. But like crypts, they're actually, that is how we identify most crypts. So the difference between a crypt Wendetti gecko and a crypt Wendetti jade, for instance, you won't know unless you see it in CO2 water. That tells you the color of the leaf. But what's telling actually is if it's a jade, it will have a white flower. If it has a pink flower, then it's not a Wendetti at all. It's another type of crypt altogether. I can't remember the kind, but I haven't committed it to memory because it doesn't do well underwater. But it's just kind of a weird thing. So yeah, most of the plants other than the Aponegitans, like the Madagascar lace, the Crispus, Crispulata, Subulata, all the kind of like twirly green ones that snap like green beans when you bend them in half. A lot of those are true aquatics. Let's see here. Let's see. Listened to American Woman the other day and couldn't stop laughing, adding my own verses. American Woman, stay at least 6 feet away from me. Yeah. Igor, everybody poops. That's true. Jane poops. Jane says, yes, and Chevy Fish, Sergio is a sleazeball. Ginger, hello. Man, everyone's in here today. How are you guys all doing? Icy Play, hello. Yeah, Sergio maybe does need his own shirt. I don't know. I'm not a hustler. I just spawn a lot or something like that. I don't know. You know, Sergio is so dependable. He mates for life with 3 different fish, 3 different women. I don't know, whatever. We'll do something maybe. But yeah, Sergio, he's getting old. They can live 10 years though. I mean, he's fine. So Sergio and Jane, if you're wondering the names, you have to be somebody who was born in probably the 70s or 80s and listen to Jane's Addiction to know the reference. The wet spot is called the Wet Spot Tropical Fish in Portland, Oregon, by the way. Just dropping by, Langan and Animals, well, hello, and thank you for dropping things. Where to get panda loaches? Nowhere right now. If you can find panda loaches, please tell me, because they are not coming in. They live in China. They are harvested once a year, other than one farm in Singapore that just figured out how to breed them with hormones. But because of no passenger flights coming in from that part of China, they literally live only in the Yunnan province on the border there, in south central China, and then central China in the Hunan province. And so they're not coming in whatsoever. And I mean, most fish stores aren't even getting goldfish out of Hong Kong anymore, let alone a fish that's rare and costs $30 sometimes. I mean, it's not unusual to see it for 20 or $30. And I've seen it. They used to be $100 for a little inch-long fish. They are my favorite fish. I did have a colony of them for 2.5 years that I really love dearly. A few of them died of old age finally, and then all of a sudden the colony just collapsed one day and they all just died. I don't know what happened. But I miss them, even though they're super delicate, and getting them to spawn has been like a puzzle. And I got them to make 2 little baby fry that lived, and that's all on the years of trying. I think they need like a tank like that big, and you need to have like 20 or 30 of them. And I think the trick would be actually to spawn angelfish or something in there, and then put that water into or spawn angelfish in another tank, then get a good amount of that water and do like a 50% water change, and make sure that the angelfish water is also super duper clean. And that would put the estrogen into the water, and that a lot of times will trigger other fish to spawn. And either that or human growth hormone. It's not actually human growth. It's like fish growth hormone But human growth hormone and fish growth hormone are pretty similar. And apparently there's 3 different ones they can use. In my video where I go down to the Florida Aqua Lab at University, is it Florida University, honey? University of Florida Aquaculture Lab. When we went down there, they talked about how they were inducing fish to spawn, including the fire fish in salt water, and then of course the yellow tangs, and then the dories, the adorable dory fish. Yeah, right now it is hard to get a lot of the oddball fish. Yeah, I mean, Oddball Aquatics, Select Aquatics, Lucas Brett's, although he might be low on a lot of stuff too. Last time I talked to him, Buddy was a little low on some stuff. But, I mean, I have stuff that you've seen, and I'm working on spawning things like neon tetras, because people don't realize it, but they'll pay $5-10 for tetras if they just have a small tank. They're beautiful fish. Why wouldn't you? It's just, it has to be worth my while. So if I can find people ahead of time in my fish club that are like, yeah, we would love that, then I'll do it. But you know, you got to feed them and then house them, and you know, all the time of feeding babies, and it's a lot of work. But when you have so many fish like I do downstairs in that one tank, like you do lose more. You can't like tailor it just to the one species. You do lose more of the fish, but in the end, it's kind of a scatter shot, and it lets you keep community tanks that spawn, and that the fish actually end up surviving, like half of them in the eggs. So it works out okay. I think it works out to be more fish total and a better selection, just because I don't want to sell like 400 cories right now. Like, even though I could probably get that many, I'm like not lying. They probably put 50 to 100 eggs every week on the glass. So, but what would I do with all those when they grow up? There's not even any stores that really are buying that many of them around here right now. Just because nobody's going to the store because they don't think they have anything at this point. So it'll be interesting, but it's the whole, all the stuff going on has been kind of a boom, as we talked about last time, for American domestic breeders. It's been interesting. And with plants, major. Nobody can get plants, apparently. I don't know what the problem is. I mean, they can make tissue cultures in the US and everything. They just don't. And that's why my buddy a couple years ago, if you watch the channel, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, his channel, he had Tissue Culture HQ. And that's when we did that crazy sale for like $250 a tissue culture. And we had like... what was it? I think we had 58 varieties of plants, or 62 varieties of plants that were unusual. That was trying to get tissue culture started in the US, being made in the US by anyone other than, like Petco has some that they make from Chewy, their online distributor. By the way, the cories over here are they're making the T shape, and they're going up and down in the glass in the corner. Let's see. They were. It means baby time. Okay, so thank you guys for joining me. It's been real. Sorry about the little political rant. Chad C. I would like to say thank you for the distraction from Cap Hill. Oh man, Chad, are you up on Cap Hill right now? Wait, were you filming the other day? I don't know. We'll talk. We'll talk. If we need to talk, we'll talk. But yeah, Redfish, Bluefish was the friend. Yes, Chevy Fish, thank you. Thank you, Muppet, thank you for thanking me. I thank you for thanking me, so thank you. Chad, you work there. Okay, so you're a Seattleite also. Lots of fishy people in Seattle. Go figure. Well, thank you guys for joining, and I'm going to get out of here. I hope this was a slight distraction after I bitched about everyone not getting along in the world. But yeah, think about each other. Think about your critters. Take an hour each day if you can. I mean, what else are you doing? And just meditate in one of your tanks. Make it the best little home, the best little biome it can be. And maybe go to parks and things. Look for plants in the water. I do that too. And, you know, it's getting to be summer. There's probably going to be some plants that can withstand the tropical temperatures. And it's always fun to play. Jackson Tax brought me a plant from California that grows like near Death Valley. And it's outside in one of my tubs right now. So there's always new things to discover. I'll be doing a new history video as well as that little update about some of the stuff that's going on that's much shorter than me this time. But as I said, please be safe, especially if you're out protesting. Whether you're protesting the protesters and you're saying Blue Lives Matter, or whether you're saying that you don't like the police and Black Lives Matter. I guess those would be the two extremes, maybe. Or maybe you're an anarchist and nothing matters. No, a nihilist. Yes. So if you're a nihilist and you say nothing matters, believe in nothing, then that's fine too. I hope you're going emerald green rasboras. Oh, awesome. DC, thank you for letting me know the emerald green rasboras. Yeah, I hooked him up with like 6 of them and a toe. No, and it ended up they spawned right away. He got 2 of my spawning stock, a female and a male, that were out of my 6-star erythromicrons. He got 2 of them. I just felt like this vibe, like he needed them, and they started going at it right away. So it's great. All right, you guys, I'm done talking. I've talked your ear off enough. Thank you for joining. It supports the stream. I appreciate it. And also, I really do want to figure out like how to make Patreon worth it to more people. So let me know if there's anything I could do that would make it worth it. If there's not, that's fine. That's a realistic answer. But if you could leave that in the comments once the video loads, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, if there's nothing, then don't worry about it. And I'll just keep doing it out of the love of it, and because you guys cheer me up and distract me when my neighborhood's burning down. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Take care of your fish. Take care of your plants. Take care of the people around you. And, of course, take care of yourself, because if you don't do that, you can't do the other things. And if we all do half of that, half the time, I think we will have a world that's twice as good. All right, thank you, mods. And you guys all take care. I'll be back probably maybe Thursday this week. Might switch it up. Otherwise, it'll be Saturday. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Stay safe. Much love.